This is probably the best fighting showreel you've ever seen. My guest Jerry Trimble is a kickboxing legend, 2 times world champion. He became an actor and stuntman later on, starring in a whole range of movies and fighting some of the biggest stars in Hollywood. He is currently performing motivational speeches for the youth, inspiring everybody to be a little bit better every day. Get ready for some serious tips on how to become better at anything you do. This is Jerry the Golden Boy Trimble for the Bruce Willow podcast.
Dig it.
Let me just ask my director if everything is okay with the sound and stuff, you know, because we had a little technical difficulty like 10 minutes ago, but I think we're good now. So
Good deal, man.
oh, he's telling me everything is okay. I can't believe this. Everything is okay. I mean, this is
Perfect, man.
your positivity. You just brought the positivity in. Ja. So you're always talking, Jerry. Let me start from the get-go, asking you some tips.
Okay.
You're always talking about brain development and brain training and meditation. What are some of the tips that you could give our listeners and our viewers? You know, like step one, what could they do in their everyday lives to help them get focused, for example?
Start off with what you eat. Brain foods. Foods like broccoli, greens, green leafy vegetables, walnuts, blueberries, avocado, coconut oil. Start off with changing your diet and eating more brain-friendly foods.
Okay.
Foods that are, good for the brain. Meditation. I meditate twice a day. Yesterday, I actually meditated 3 times, but most of the time twice a day. You know, when you're meditating, make sure you got some maybe Bose headphones, so they're noise cancellation headphones. And you just bang. You know, people go, "Oh, I meditate. I do art." You know what? No, when you do art, you do art. That they say it's a form of meditation, but I'm talking about the silent meditation.
Okay.
Man, silent meditation, dude. That's the shit. I mean, when you're just silent, your brain waves and everything, and there's no thoughts.
Okay.
There's a guy for some brain training exercises and tips that I learned from Jim Quick. I don't know if you heard of Jim Quick.
Quick.
Kwik. Jim Quick.
No.
Yeah. He's got some amazing brain training exercises, things to do to remember your lines, things to do to strengthen your brain. Visualization. I do visualization every day. I do affirmations every day. You know, this is the most important asset we have. And if this thing conks out, we're screwed, man.
I'm actually reading a book right now called How to, in Portuguese, it's something like How to Invest in Your Brain. And they say stuff like there's a lot of stuff that you know how to do, or you know some patterns when it comes to you working out or doing some physical training. But when it comes to brain training, people don't know what to do, don't know where the fuck to begin. So it's like... Would you say that for meditation, would you go like looking at something for a very long time, or just repeating a word or a pattern like one? Would that stuff help, or that's the cliches?
Well, I mean, they everybody's got their own method, their own way to do something. And for me, it's the silent meditation. I've been meditating for about before I came to Vancouver, but probably for about 10 years now.
Wow.
And I've tried all kinds of different types of meditation, guided meditation, visualization meditation. But what has worked for me is the silent meditation. Mm-hmm. I guess it would be comparable to transcendental meditation, TM.
Okay. Yeah,
which is, you get a mantra, but I don't have a mantra, and I was going to go and do the transcendental meditation, and I was watching a Russell Simmons video, and I was like, fuck, man, I'm not going to pay someone to teach me something that should be free. That's what Russell Simmons says. He says, you shouldn't have to go out and have to pay someone to teach you. He says, all you got to do is get some headphones, boom, put it on, and breathe and focus on your breath. And that's it. But exercise, you mentioned exercise. Exercise is one of the top things for developing the brain and keeping the brain strong. Lots of water. This shit right here, man, is the bomb.
What?
Supplements.
Oh.
Supplements. This is the Rolls Royce of supplements for the brain. It's a bit pricey. Yeah, it's called a neurotropic. Have you heard of neurotropics?
Oh, yes, I've heard of the term, but I'm not sure. Is it like a complex of vitamins and minerals that will help you with brain function? Is that it?
With your brain function, that's exactly what it is. And it's funny, a lot of people in Vancouver, I'm like, have you heard, what neurotropics are? They're like, I don't know. But I've tried a lot of different neurotropics, and, being an actor and, back in the 80s, man, I did so many drugs. I'm trying to reverse the damage that I did with my brain.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and fighting in the ring, some brain trauma, I guess. But being an actor, having to remember lines and working with kids and remembering, 45-minute monologues when I'm going out to do a talk. I've tried a lot of different neurotropics, and this one is the shit. It's called... What
are some of the ingredients or some of the nutrients that it has, just so that people know a little bit of the compounds?
For your mind, it's the premium neurotropic. It's got DHA, ginkgo, velvet bean, organic coffee berry, cognizant, a lot of shit that's just mainly for the brain. L-carnitine, artichoke hearts. It's got a lot of shit in it, but it works the moment that you take it. You take 7 on an empty stomach upon arising, and boom, you feel it immediately. And that was the key. I went, oh my God, I feel good. I feel really good. I feel like my focus went up, boom, a couple of notches. And the cleaner you get, the better everything works, the you're able to absorb it. But I know this is a plug for quality. I don't make any money off of it, but I love this shit.
Don't worry,
it's
man.
Really good stuff, man.
We're all about plugging, even if we're not getting paid. We're all about plugging when stuff works and when there are good products in the market. A lot of people you talk about the good habits in terms of the food, and a lot of the people we sometimes, especially when we have a lot of work, some days that we have a lot of physical and mental work, we feel like, okay, we deserve some McDonald's right now, So if people only change that little bit of their lives that comes along with everything, the food, it's so important to fuel ourselves good.
Man.
You know what? It's actually kind of funny. Sorry to interrupt you. It's actually kind of funny looking at you, because when I was younger, you scared the living crap out of me. You know why? Because the first movie I ever saw of you was Breathing Fire.
Oh God!
And you were the breathing fire. You were mean in that movie. It was like, oh man, I can't believe that. So now I'm talking to you. Were actually quite a nice guy. I'm glad. I'm glad you changed, Jerry. You changed.
I changed quite. It's funny. I did a podcast about a week and a half ago with Johnny Davis, and he said, "Yeah, man." He goes, "And I have to say, back in the day when you were fighting, man." He goes, "You were somewhat of an asshole." I said, "Oh God, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry." We all got our things, But yeah, I have changed. Yeah, I like to consider myself a peaceful warrior.
Yeah, man. Obviously we got to introduce you to our crowd. Some of the people might not be in touch with your history and what you did for the martial arts and for the movies. So where did it all begin in terms of the martial arts? What struck you? What sparked your flame?
That guy behind you over your right shoulder in the poster.
Who? Bruce Lee? That guy? Really? No, I can't believe that. No. You got to be the first person to say that.
I know.
Wow, man, really?
Most people, I was bullied as a kid. I only had a handful of friends, and there was one day that I ran away from home at 13 years old, and going through the streets, I went to see if there was a movie theater that had Planet of the Apes and Chinese Connection. And I snuck into the Chinese Connection, and I saw Bruce Lee. Man, when he jumped on that screen, some shit happened inside of me.
Oh, man.
That was it was pretty cool. So I went home and asked my dad. I was like, "Hey, can I join karate?" And he's like, "No, man, no. You quit everything you started." And so I went to the magazine store and bought every martial arts magazine I could buy. And went home and I put the magazines all over the floor. And man, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was trying. Yeah.
So Bruce Lee is the main fuel for most people. Now tell me something. I know that some of the titles are translated or that they were different in certain parts of the globe. So when you say Chinese Connection, are you talking about Big Boss or Fist of Fury? The one in Thailand or the one in the Japanese dojo?
The Japanese dojo. That was Big Boss, right?
Yeah.
Was that big? Yeah. That's
I think in some parts of the world, it's Big Boss is the one in Thailand, but I guess it's called Chinese Connection in some other parts of the globe. I mean, the Asian market and the American market were kind of different. So sometimes Fist of Fury is one, and Chinese Connection is another. So it was the one where he kicks all the Japanese guys. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Where he walks in and the sign says no Chinese allowed, no dogs and no Chinese allowed, and he jumps up with one foot, he kicks the sign, takes the other foot, smashes it. Yeah.
I was
that
just
was the
there.
movie, man. It changed my life.
I was just there at that door, at that big garden door where he kicks that
really?
That sign like 2 years ago. Yeah, I cried so hard, man, because I saw.
Oh my god!
I began training martial arts. I began training wushu when I was 9 years old because I saw a movie. I'm younger, so I can't really say that the first movie that I saw was a Bruce Lee movie, but it was a movie on Bruce Lee called Dragon: The Bruce Lee Story with Jason Scott Lee.
Great movie.
Yeah, I was 9 years old, and my grandmother took me to see that movie. So I guess we ran out of cartoons or something. So I went over there to the movie theater, and we saw that. It was like I was crazy. I wanted to be like Bruce Lee, and then I saw.
That was your boom. That was your spark, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thick, man. Yeah, Bruce Lee. Whoa.
What do you call it? Plot twist, plot turn. That was my plot turn. How you say it, right?
Plot twist. Yeah.
Plot twist. Plot twist. Yeah.
Plot twist. Yeah. Plot point.
Plot point. Yeah. Plot point. Yeah.
Plot
that was
point.
my
there
plot
you go.
point.
That was my first. That was my first plot point too.
Man.
Chinese Connection, man. Love it. Yeah.
And it's funny because when I spoke to Keith Cook,
I saw the interview last night.
Oh yeah. Good.
Great guy. Love Keith.
When I spoke to Keith Cook, he said that he started learning from a book as well. And guess what? You started learning from books and magazines. And guess what? I started learning. I don't want to compare myself with you guys, obviously.
No. Come on, man. You're badass, dude.
But I started from a book called like The Practical Manual for Kung Fu. Because my parents would not enroll me right away. They wanted to see how much into it I was, you know.
Same here. My dad, man, they didn't want to. They were like, no. But after 2 months of upstairs in the attic in my bedroom, just jumping up and down, and boom, and they're like, okay, I guess he's serious. So they called my uncle up. My uncle took me down to the school and boom, enrolled me. I was like, yes.
God,
changed everything. Stood up to the bully that always with me. Stood up to him for the first time. Never was bullied again.
Man, that's such a story, man. That's such a story.
Yeah.
And you started with Taekwondo, am I right?
Taekwondo, yes. Got into Taekwondo. Yep.
Yeah. And
Taekwondo,
you had
what's that?
No, I'm sorry. I was going to ask you if you had like a crazy. I heard in an interview that you had like a crazy world record or of getting your black belt in the. I mean, you got it in the shortest amount of time because you were so involved, right?
I was 6 days a week, man. I got my first degree black belt in 18 months. A year and a half it took me, and it was like every day. We were about 2 miles, little over 2 miles from the karate school. I would walk to the school, and at night my dad would pick me up, and I would hang at the school. Even when I wasn't taking class, I would watch the other classes, watch the other students, and I would sometimes take 2 or 3 classes if I was the rank enough to take the class. So I just dove into it, man. You know, what you put in, you get out, you know, and I put everything in.
And when did you decide when did you decide to start competing? Because you competed in full contact kickboxing, right?
Yeah, I started in point tournaments, and I lost like my first 3 tournaments. And I was talking to my instructor. I'm like, "What the hell? What's going on?" He goes, "Well, if you keep doing what you're doing," he goes, "you'll keep getting the same results. You got to spar with people that are better than you, people that are taller than you, people that are higher ranked than you." And I started going around to the higher ranks in my class and stuff, saying, "Hey, after class, you want to spar?" I was going up to black belts, and I was like a green belt at the time. And then after that, I fought my 4th tournament, and I took first place, and I was like, "Oh my God." And then I was addicted to sparring. I loved sparring.
Yeah.
I sparred anyone and whenever I could. It was pretty cool. And my mom, she's like, "I can't believe it. You got all these trophies." I had probably 50, 60 trophies, and I have no idea where they're at. When I left from Kentucky to Atlanta, or from Atlanta to California, I didn't have any place to put my trophies, so I gave them to a friend of mine to put them in his family's farm, and they got all broken. And I'm like, "Where's my trophies, man?" He's like, "Jerry, man, we had to throw them out because we needed space, and I couldn't get a hold of you." And I was like, but my mom's like, "I can't believe it, all these trophies." And I went, "You know what, Mom?" I said, "It's up here, though. It's up here, and it's really about the trophies, but it'd be nice to have them." But yeah. But yeah, so it was cool. And then I got into it. And after that, I saw Richard Jackson and Howard Jackson on ESPN fighting. This was in 79. And I went, "I think I can beat these guys. I think I can become world champion." And then, I fought my first fight was for the Kentucky State Kickboxing Championship. And I TKO'd the guy in the 4th round and gave him a black eye, busted eardrum, and 4 stitches above the left eye. I would write down all the injuries I gave to my opponents every time I fought. It was sick. I don't know.
Wow, were you that methodical? You wrote down the injuries like in a journal?
I did a journal of all my fighting stuff, of how many kicks I threw that night in training, what I would do, how many we would do kicking rounds, and in the kicking rounds we would time it to see how many kicks we can kick in that round. We got up sometimes 400, 500 kicks.
Wow.
And I was bang, 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 bang. It was so cool. But I recorded all that and recorded. It was a diary. It was like a journal diary of everything that I did. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
That's why I recommend everyone journal. Everyone write in journals. Communication with yourself is one of the most important things. Write in a journal. You write in a journal? You have a journal?
Yes, I have a journal. But it's mostly like it's topics of stuff that I need to do and goals. It's not really a diary. It's not a diary. It's not a diary.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm a little bit lazy to write my day or write what happened during that day, but I'm starting to get a little bit more methodical in my approach, because once you don't write the goals, they vanish. It's like someone very wise said that you should never use your head as a filing cabinet. I totally agree, because I'm in a creative area where I'm always trying to get new ideas for videos. And you know what? When you're a stuntman and a personal trainer like myself, you get ideas every day. For example, of people asking you stuff like, how do I squat? Or what am I doing wrong in the squat? Where am I doing wrong in this workout? So you're always getting ideas of how to reach people and give them tools. So I write down everything, even if I'm in the shower, or if I'm in a locker room, or if I'm driving. I gotta write this, because I know I'm gonna forget about it.
You got to get it. If you don't get it out of your head on the paper into the world and give it life, they'll stay up there. I tell the kids, I'm like, "You guys write? You guys have goals?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "You guys write your goals down?" They're like, "No." I said, "Well, if you don't write them down, you don't get them out of your head. Where are they going to stay? They're going to stay in your head." So I agree with don't use your head as a filing cabinet. Only for remembering things. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's good to practice, but not with serious things.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're really gonna lose
Yeah.
lose your ideas. And nowadays, I feel like with so much competition, you always got to bring new stuff and new stuff. Even if it's not new stuff or new truths,
Yeah.
some of the things we always say are cliche. We know that, but it's like
Yeah.
our way of saying or our angle is always different. And let me get to your motivational speaking a little later on, because
cool.
right now I really want to continue with your history, because I'm really fascinated. So, how many times were you a world champion when you started full contact kickboxing?
2 times. I was a PKA champion and the PKC champion. So,
Wow.
but before that, I won the Kentucky state title, the Georgia state title, the Southeast title, the U.S. title, and then PKA and PKC champion. I defended it for 4 years, and just after that, went to California.
Yeah. I know those were the harsh times, right? Those were the tough times in your career where you look back and it's like, oh, I screwed up there, right? Would you mind sharing a little bit of what happened?
Yeah, the closer I got to becoming world champion, it was a lot of there was more temptations. I mean, I never paid for anything. Everyone would take care of me. It was like, hey, golden boy, hey, we're going out tonight, man. Everything's on me. I'd go out and never pay for anything. And there were so many times I'm like, guys, I got a fight coming up, man. I got to train. I can't train. But then, after I became world champion, I moved in with a buddy of mine. We're still very close friends, and his name's Glenn Hughes. He played Deep Purple and Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And I think he's about probably 35 years sober now. But we moved in together, and man, we were out of control. We were partying 7 days a week. I moved in with him as his bodyguard and his personal trainer, and we ended up being best friends and party buddies. And then I had a drug overdose. Fucking drug overdose.
Whoa.
Days later. Yeah, it was I did, man. It was I was so out of control. And my girlfriend had taken my dog, my Pomeranian, to Lake Okeechobee, Florida, and I told Glenn, I said, I got to get out of town or I'm going to die. I said, I'm going to Florida to get my gizmo. That's what his name was. And so I hitchhiked to Lake Okeechobee, Florida. Took me 23 hours, and I had an epiphany on the Florida Turnpike, which they call Alligator Alley because of infested with alligators. And it was me on a freaking, stretch of highway. There was nobody in sight, and I was just walking and praying to God. And man, I had an epiphany, and it was to get the hell out of Dodge, get away from the people I was around, go to California, and get into the movies. I got my dog, went back to Atlanta, and sold everything I own, man. And me and my buddy George, who moved there with me, he had a drug overdose of heroin and died.
Man.
Yeah, he was 3 days away from signing a multi-million-dollar record deal with Capitol Records, and freaking just said, "Oh, one last hurrah." And I said, "Dude, are you sure this?" And I got my shit together, but he went to California and got into the bad shit. And man, 3 days from signing the record deal, he freaking OD'd. I was like, "What?"
Oh
yeah.
man,
So
that's so crazy.
But yeah.
Because
it was crazy, man.
Nowadays, obviously, you told that story in some interviews, and I watched a lot of interviews from you, being a fan, and I mean, it's people sometimes are, we are very quick to pull the trigger on celebrities or people who just found fame. Oh, they should have been more disciplined. Oh, if it were me, I would say no. I mean, fuck off. I mean, it's not that easy. I mean, you lived with one of the Black Sabbath members. I mean, it's like. I mean, tell me a few stories. I mean, without, forgetting about obviously the bad stuff. That must have been crazy. I mean, I want to know a few things. Where did you go? What did you do?
It was weird because being a bullied, insecure, fearful kid that had no friends, I was like, man, I'm the world champion. I mean, I had carte blanche any club I would go to, restaurants. I never had to wait in line. and we go out and, somebody would mess with Glenn because, and then the bouncers would say, take him outside. You want to take him outside, Jerry? And I'm like, fuck yeah. We go outside, and next thing you know, there'd be a big crowd of people around. And oh man, this is crazy. My mom gave me this ring for my birthday, JT, and it was in diamonds. And I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but okay, well, every time I got into a fight, it was either me or them. So I would take the ring off and put it on my first finger. And so every time I would get into a fight, they're going to know that they got messed, with the wrong guy. And I would never start a fight. I was always bullied. So if anyone were to bully me or my friends, I would stick up for, and I was 140 pounds. People would be like, hey, Trimble, hey, man, this guy, man, I owe him money. And I said, where is he? Where is he? Okay, boom. They take it over there. And if I couldn't talk the guy out, boom, it's like outside. And it was crazy. It was stupid. If I could go back and change it all, would I? Yes. I wouldn't have been out of control, and I wouldn't. Yeah, it's just, but I did. And we were fighting in clubs, sometimes 2-3 times a week. I'd be banned from one club, and I'd go in the club that says, oh man, sorry, Jerry, you got 2 more weeks, brother. I'm like, oh, you kidding me? Yeah. They said, okay, yeah. Oh, fuck it. Come on in, man. Yeah, it was crazy times. And it was a lot of fighting, a lot of anger, and a lot of ego. Ego, man, ego. Oh, it's going to be the downfall of mankind.
But you being as positive as you are, and obviously talking about the downfall that this was, and getting it onto your head that this moment was. What do you feel came out of this that was positive for you in the long run?
It's funny because there's times where, well, recently, maybe about 2 years ago, I would beat myself up going, fuck, I could be so much farther than I am right now. And I've done a lot. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm blessed that everything I've done and everything I continue to do now. But without those stories and without that turmoil that I went through, I wouldn't be able to share it with the kids. And my wife's like, honey, you know what? If you didn't go through that, you wouldn't be able to share it with the kids. And I went, you're right. You're right. So I embraced my past, and I thank everyone that bullied and everyone that criticized me and everyone that thank you for, for me being who I am today, because now I'm able to share that with people and help them to not do the stupid stuff that I did, and to not, show me your crowd. I will show you your future. And you know what, man, your crowd is who you hang with. That's a big thing. And it's, people hang with these people that are just so negative. And when you criticize, especially young people, they don't stop loving themselves or they stop loving themselves. My grandmother always says, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, then don't say it.
Well, you see, that's old wisdom. That's old wisdom.
Yep.
I mean, I love that. I love that phrase of yours. That phrase of "Show me your crowd, and I'll show you your future."
Show your future.
That means so much. That means so much, man. It's totally true. And I mean, I'm glad that there are a lot of people. There are a lot of motivational speakers nowadays, and some of them have the knowledge, some of them have the experience, and just a few have the experience and the knowledge. So I'm glad to see that you're very three-dimensional in that approach.
Thank you.
Speaking of three-dimensional, I mean, you were the best kicker in the circuit. Whenever I see your show reel, I mean your fight reel, and I know they even talked about this on the Joe Rogan podcast. I mean, it's crazy. You kicked from every angle. I mean, that Taekwondo must have been a great help in the full contact days, right?
Yeah. I mean, we worked on those kicks and worked on them, and I wanted to get to the point where I could sit there and I could be able to kick and redirect my kick if he was able to block it, bang, go in and bang, and just, but to do it effectively with power. And it was just a lot of work, man. And I attribute a lot of it to the people that worked with me, those guys that held pads for me, the people that pushed me, my trainers, the promoters, everyone that was a part of my, my stable of, fight camp. So, but it was a lot of work, man. What you put in, you get out, and nothing's impossible. If I can do it, shit, anybody can do it. And it just takes work. And dude, you are so you're in Portugal right now, right?
Yeah.
Dude, you're the Joe Rogan of Portugal, brother. I've watched your interviews and stuff. you're very you're doing an amazing job. You're very personable. You got your shit together. You got charisma. Your exercise videos are badass. I watched them last night, and I'm like,
oh really? Oh, thank you so much.
Honey. Yeah, I'm like, honey, you got to check this guy out. This guy is going to do the podcast tomorrow. Yeah, you're amazing, man. You're amazing.
Oh, man.
Keep up the great work. But you've got it. You've got that charisma, and I'm telling you. And I've seen people do podcasts and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but you're great, man. So keep up the good work, man. Brother. Yeah,
I can't thank you enough. I mean, coming from who's coming, I mean, it's a total honor. Thank you so much, Jerry. I wanted to ask you something because I know that you, besides the kicking, so now talking about the physical skills and what got you into those, what got you those trophies. That, by the way, your friend probably sold on eBay. He's probably he's probably has a Lamborghini right now, but he told you, oh, we had to throw them away. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, yeah, we all heard that story.
Yeah. I'm gonna hunt the guy down after I get off the phone.
I heard of everything being sold on eBay. I heard this crazy story. I don't know if it's an urban myth of a Britney Spears fart inside a box. A fart inside a box. So they sold it for like $15. $15 they sold that one. So I mean, the crazy shit people do on internet. So, you know.
Oh my God. Yeah. This has opened up some doors to some crazy shit. No doubt, man.
What if it is a Britney Spears fart? I mean, you open the box, it's like, it really is a Britney Spears fart.
Oh, it's like, get it out. And you go.
So it was a bargain. It's really a Britney Spears fart.
$15. Oh my God. That is a bargain. $15.
$15. Plus shipping, obviously. But
plus shipping there.
But I know that you love boxing as well. So from Taekwondo, when did you start to develop your boxing skills a little more?
I started boxing in Kentucky, Terry O'Brien, Shamrock Boxing Gym, and in '79 I started training with him. And then when I went to Atlanta, I started training with Asa Gordon, who was a boxer, and he had other boxers come in and sparring. And I love boxing. I love people say, what do you love more? Do you love kickboxing or do you love boxing? And I said, I actually like boxing better. I like it, I like getting in there and, boxing. It's just, there's something about it. It's just, it's a little more rugged. And kickboxing is more methodical. It's like, it's more of a chess game than boxing. But I love boxing. I've always loved boxing. I like getting in there and just slugging it out. But it's not good for the brain.
No, man.
Brain.
But it's really one of the most important things that, I mean, people, when they're kickers, I mean, they always like to maintain the distance and the long distance with the kicks. But once you get in the medium or the short range or the short distance, I mean, it's just another whole level of pressure.
Another whole level, brother.
It's like this. It's like the same thing when you start grappling or trying to play a little bit with grappling or learning from friends. It is so against everything that you've been taught. It's so counterintuitive that it's like, oh my God. I mean, so I'm on the bottom. I'm not on top. It's like, wow, jiu-jitsu. It's crazy as well.
So what was your base style that you started? Was kung fu?
Wushu, yeah, kung fu.
Wushu, okay.
Yeah, I practiced for 10 years. I started when I was 9, 10 years, and then I started practicing kickboxing a little bit. But by then, when I was like 18 and I started practicing kickboxing, I mean, I started doing a little bit of sparring as well. But I was kind of, I had this weak mentality, let's say it like this, because I was thinking that my dream of being like a martial arts actor or being a stuntman that I got to become later on, I had a notion that my country is very small and that we have a very little chance of being on a TV series or a movie. So my dream of becoming like you guys was getting like farther and farther away. But that's the best way not to do anything. I wasn't proactive. I didn't do what you did and get everything together
Right.
and just went on to get it. Who now is my stunt coordinator? His name is David Chan. He was working out with me at the time, and when he was 18, he went to the United States. He went to California, and he started studying there, and he went to film school. And since he was a martial artist as well, he started working with a lot of people and started doing a lot of movies. And he worked with Michael Jai White. He worked with Keith Cook as well. He worked with Scott Adkins. You know, he had a little bit of a resume going on. And after 8 years in the U.S., he decided to come back to Portugal. He's like my angel. And I was in a downslope. I was doing nothing. I was completely addicted to marijuana and hashish and stuff. And every day I was feeling sorry for myself, and I wasn't really working. I was doing a little bit of odd jobs to get some money every now and then, and one time I just see him, and I had lost touch with him, and I just see him in a theater where I was handing out keychains with my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
We were handing out keychains as a promoter of the event.
Promotional thing.
A promotional thing. So I saw him, I was like, oh, David. He was like, oh, Bruno, a big hug. And then he said, I came back to Portugal because I want to start a stunt team. And I was like, a stunt team in Portugal? So you were in California and you came back to Portugal to start a stunt team? Yeah. Are you kidding me? I mean, we're so small. And he was like, oh, I think there's a market. And I was like, no. You have to go back, brother. We're sinking here. Go back. And he was like, oh, I think there's a market. God. You know what? Yeah. There was a fucking market. He called me.
Oh,
and I got all that, it was just like you when you're doing your motivational speaking. I just feel the same thing. I was like, I grabbed everything that I had packed inside of me, like every emotion, every bad stuff that had occurred. My ex-girlfriend had broken up with me, so I was very much on the downslope and feeling sorry for myself. But then I was like, okay, I'm going to give it all in this first job that he gets me. And it was like a Portuguese TV show, and I gave it all. And from then on until now, it's been 12 years, and I never stopped working as a stuntman.
Good for you, brother. That's inspiring, man. That's cool.
And you know what? There is a market, because in Portugal, since we have beach, we have forest, we are cheaper than most European countries. A lot of European productions and American productions come to Portugal to film. So it's like we're blessed. I mean, we have a lot of work at all time, and I'm very grateful.
Man, I need to come out there. I need to take a visit out there.
Yeah, man.
And come out there and kill a few birds with one stone and do some motivational talks with kids.
Oh, that'd be great.
We can do some. I don't know. You never know. Stranger things have happened, but planting the seed. I'd love to come to Portugal, brother, and shoot something. Oh, that'd be cool. And then empower some kids at the same time.
Let's go, man. I mean, you'll be treated like a king. You'll be treated like a king. Nowadays, I can say I have the production value already to treat you like a king, so I'm able to give back to my mentors and my idols. Then that makes me very happy.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's put it out there, man. Yeah.
So about that alligator turnpike. Is it the name Alligator Turnpike?
Alligator Alley.
Sorry.
It was the Florida. That's right, Florida Turnpike.
Florida Turnpike. Yeah. I never been to the U.S. I gotta go. So you said that you left, or you quit everything. You quit the high life, to go do movies. Why movies?
Yep.
Were you already thinking about doing movies?
Well, there was a promoter. It's funny. Ever since I was like 11 years old, me and my buddy, I had a couple friends in school, and we would get together and we would write movie ideas and we would write synopsis. This is 11 years old. Had no idea I wanted to be in the movie business. We would write, create stories. And then my mom and dad bought me a movie projector with a record player, and I would put sound. I had a tape recorder. I would put sound to memovies, silent movies. Still no intention of being in the movie business. Mm-hmm. And then a promoter told me right before I became world champion, he says, he told me, he goes, Golden Boy, he goes, I'm going to get you a shot at the world title, and I'm going to take you to Hollywood, California, make you a star. All you got to do is sign here. So I signed a contract with him. He gave me a brand new freaking car. I'm like, fuck yeah. And I got a shot at the world title, became world champion, and that idea of going to Hollywood kind of diminished because I was so into. If I was training, I was training for a fight, serious. But when I wasn't training, I was out partying, and it was like crazy. But it was on the Florida Turnpike. It was I needed to get out of Dodge, and Jim Abernathy, the promoter, his that talk he gave me about going to Hollywood popped into my head, and I went, "Fuck it, I'm getting out of here." I said, "Where am I going to go?" And I thought, "I'll go to Hollywood. I'll try the movies." You know, Chuck Norris was big at the time, and I'm going, "Shit, I can do this." And I went on my never been in an acting class. You know, it was like instead of going to the boxing gym, I went to acting school, and my whole crowd changed. Started teaching for one of Chuck Norris's studios to get some extra money. Saw a manager there. He said, you know, he was looking for new talent. And I said, well, I'm looking for an agent and manager. He goes, boom. So we signed, sent me on my first 2 auditions ever. And I booked both 2 lead roles. And the first one was with Jet Li, and the second one was Breathing Fire. Man. And I was like, wow, okay. I mean, I don't know if I would have got it if it was strictly my acting, but when they said, okay, let's see your martial arts. And I'd stand in the center of the room, and I would just fire off kicks, jump spinning kicks, bang, flying, bang. And I would stay in one section, and I would shadow box and bang and jump spin and fly and bang. And they're like, oh, okay. Thank you for coming in. And then boom, that's what really got me the booking. And then I said, I better get an acting class. Then I started taking some classes and stuff.
Wow, man. I mean, Jet Li on the first try. I mean, come on. Jet Li
I know, man.
On the first try.
Yeah.
How was it working with Jet Li? Tell me everything.
Jet, he didn't really speak English, and you know, I'm sure he's a great guy now, but you know, we both had egos. I mean, you know, it was like the crew would be like, okay, who do you think would win between you and Jet Li? And I'm going, well, fuck, I think I would win, but I'm sure he would think he would win. So, you know, and they're like, we're going to take tabs, man. And who think would beat you, you know? And we never really hung out and talked because he couldn't, you know, he didn't speak English at the time. Mm-hmm. But I mean, overall, it was, you know, it was fine. He'd hit me a couple times. And I'm going, okay, motherfucker, I'll get you back. And boom, I'd hit him. He'd smack me in the face, and I'm like, oh no, it's good. And I'm like, boom, I'd tag him to the body. Wouldn't hit him to the face because he's a star.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I'd hit him to the body with a little tap, like, okay, man, we got to control this, otherwise we're going to start blasting each other. And yeah, I mean, he was cool, great. You know, I mean, we didn't really get to know each other, but I enjoyed working with him.
So I guess some of the Chinese people that we know from the movies, they get it done. Yeah. I mean, they go there, they get it done. It's like, okay, hello and goodbye, right? And they just do it and get out.
Yeah, the stunt guys were amazing, though. I got along great with those guys. Those guys were freaking awesome, man. And they're crazy. They're just balls out crazy, badasses.
Was it the Corey Yun crew?
Yes, it was. Breathing Fire? Or no, not Breathing Fire. I think it was the Masters.
I'm not sure.
Yes. Shit. God, that was a long time ago, man.
Yeah,
whoa.
But it's a lot of Hong Kong style or Chinese style fights. So you really got the best out of the martial arts type of fighting at the first try. I mean, both movies have a Chinese speed. They're not really American style fighting. So how did you? How did you cope with, you know, we always get this. A lot of people, we work as stuntmen, so a lot of people say, oh, okay, I'm a martial arts champion. I know judo, I know taekwondo, I know kickboxing. I'm a national champion, I'm whatnot. But sometimes they're the worst people to work with when it comes to fight choreography because they really want to hit. Their hooks are like this. They're not like this. They're not ample, you know. So was it a stretch for you to learn how to not hit or to keep that distance and to do a little bit more flourishy?
Yeah, my control was pretty damn good. I mean, I had really good control, and that I attribute that to point karate. But you know, it was funny. Chewy Hark directed the Masters with Jet Li, and you know, we were going through the fight scenes, and I was, you know, they were trying to teach me some kung fu, and and Chewy said, he goes, just let this be your own. Take this and make it your own. And then I went, oh, okay, I get it. So they were letting me, even though it wasn't perfect Kung Fu, shit, it was my Kung Fu. And they were really, they were great to work with. They'd show me some shit, and then I'd kind of add a little bit of flair to it, add a little bit of a different kind of a swooping motion and stuff. And it looked good. I hope it looked good.
That fight on top of the building, it was crazy. That fight on top of the building. I mean, I love that. I love that. I love the fight scenes on that movie.
Yeah.
I love the fight scenes.
Yeah, that was a great fight scene. That was so much fun. Yeah, that was great. Yen Hua, which I
Yen
think,
Hua, yeah.
Yen Hua. Oh my God, that guy.
Bruce Lee stuntman.
Yes. I was 28 or 29 at the time. Oh my God. We did a fight scene. It took us 2 weeks, and we just went through this whole, it was his shop in the movie. Yeah. And I remember throwing a front kick. He was standing against the wall. I threw a front kick. He evaded the front kick, stepped to the side, and I was supposed to come up and then throw a back fist.
Yeah.
And man, I went up and I swung that back fist hard, and it hit him solid, and it went boom. And I went, oh fuck, oh Yanwa, I'm so sorry, sir. And he goes, and he just stood there, and everybody's like, oh my God. I hit him so hard, and he just went, okay, it's okay. And I was like, wow, that was the most impressive thing I've ever seen in any film I ever did. Because I was in the air and swung that back fist. I hit him so hard, and he just shook it off. I was blown away. Everyone was like, and he was like, and he just composed himself, and then he went, okay, it's okay, wow. It's okay. And I was like, dude, you're my hero, bro. That was freaking awesome. And then he just continued like it was nothing. It was crazy. He was so. That's why those guys are freaking tough, man.
They're so fucking
tough. The Chinese crew,
yeah.
Those guys, they're fucking tough as shit. They can take it, man. I've seen them be thrown out of windows and land on their neck, and I'm going, oh my God. One guy stunt doubled for him. I did most of my stuff, but there was some stuff that I had to jump. A Jeep was driving, and my character in One Man Army in the Philippines. I jumped on the Jeep, and they said, Jerry, you want to do that? And I said, moving Jeep 15 feet up? I don't think so. Sorry, guys. This one I won't do. They had a stunt double. The stunt double jumped off. His chin hit the windshield.
Yeah, the windshield.
Busted his whole chin, man. Stitches, and I was like, oh my God, you guys are. And he's like, I'm good. Just take me to the hospital. Let's stitch us up so I can get back to work. Rock stars, man. These guys are freaking rock stars.
Man, it's crazy. It's
crazy. Yeah.
Well, later on, you started working as a stuntman yourself because of Andy and Vic Armstrong, right?
Andy and Vic Armstrong and Jesse Johnson, their nephew Jesse Johnson, who is a director, has put me in about 6 or 7 movies. Vic and Andy are responsible for me being in all my stunt gigs. And I've done about 15. And Jesse Johnson introduced me to Vic Armstrong, Vic and Andy actually, on Charlie's Angels. And Vic saw my highlight reel, the one on Joe Rogan. He saw my highlight reel, and he's like, let me meet this guy. And I went in, and Vic was like, he says, oh man, I'm a big fan, and I love your work as a kickboxer. I've seen some of your fights, and man, that reel's pretty amazing. And then he cast me 6 weeks on Charlie's Angels, and then every time they had a stunt gig, those two guys and Jesse they're part of my family now. When we have parties up here in LA, I'll invite them. If they're in town, they usually come. But Vic and Andy Armstrong, brother, they're legends. They're like freaking rock star legends, all to hell and back. Love those guys.
I read Vic Armstrong's book, and it's crazy, man. The stuff he went through in the beginnings of being a stuntman in the Indiana Jones and the Rambos. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Those guys are so tough, so tough. So I know you had a great fight with Drew Barrymore.
Oh, God. That was
Jerry.
That was,
you went on and hit Drew Barrymore. Come on, man. You don't do that.
The control was so. It was like just a touch. on the nose with a punch. And she's like, oh my God, oh. And I was like, what the fuck? Stunt guys are coming behind me going, dude, you're never going to work again. And I was like, I did. And she's sitting in a chair going, and everybody's around her. They're like, are you okay? Are you okay? And she's like, and we caught eyes and she's like, oh. And she realized nothing happened. It was a touch. And she's like, I'm fine. Okay, no, he didn't hit me. I'm fine. It's okay. And I was like, oh my God. And the guy comes up, this is one of the stunt guys comes up and he goes, dude, you are so freaking lucky. I was like, and I told Vic and Andy, I'm like, I didn't touch her, man. I said, I didn't touch her. I said, that was like perfect control. They said, yeah, no, she's, she's all right now. But yeah, it was funny. Luckily I didn't break her nose. My God, can you imagine? I would have been blackballed. Oh, wow. God.
What was the worst day for you ever on set? Did anything happen that it was like, oh my God, that day in which you get home and you feel like it's like, I'm not good enough for this. Sometimes I feel like that, even after 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. There's a few times, you know what? It's like interviews. Oh man, I was telling my wife, I said, I don't like doing podcasts and interviews, but I'm actually, having a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't like saying the whole and just keep going on and telling my story. And it's like, I love how we're conversing, man, back and forth. I love this. It makes it fun and enjoyable, and I would doubt myself and I would look back and go, oh God, did I say that? Or, oh, we are our own worst enemies, and our biggest competition, I believe everyone, is ourselves. And there is a lot, and I feel for you. When you said, you do it as well. There's times where I get off a set. I mean, a time, where I sit there and you forget the lines. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I beat myself up. Any times where it was a bad day. Nothing really comes to mind, but there are times that I would look back and go, oh God, I don't know. Yeah, shit. Yeah. And then I don't know. I don't do it as much now because I've learned I'm really working on controlling the awareness, where awareness goes in my mind, because where awareness goes, energy flows. And if I start pinpointing, and picking apart what I did or what I didn't do, and I just say, boom, back off, let it go. And then I start thinking of everything I'm grateful for. But we all beat ourselves up and we do it, we got to get over it. But any certain time I went, fuck, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing comes to mind, but there are times in the films where my characters or something, I look and I go, I don't like watching myself sometimes. I try to stop judging myself. Yeah.
But you started motivational speaking in the 70s, actually, right?
Yeah. When I was 15 years old, I did my first, when I became a black belt, I did my first motivational talk in front of Highlands High School in Fort Thomas, Kentucky, man. And I had people coming up to me, kids coming up to me that were my age and even older, going, dude, man, you inspired me, man. I'm gonna really focus on this. I'm gonna try to be good at something. It doesn't have to be martial arts. It just has to be something. We all are gifted. We got so many gifts and talents, and we go to our graves. So many people goes to their graves without discovering half of or a smidgen of what they're great at. But yeah, so I started doing that. And then when I went to Atlanta, I started volunteering and working with athletes and entertainers for kids. I started going to Martin Luther King Jr. Children's Hospital. And when I got to California, I started, taking a little more seriously. And then as of about probably 5 years ago, I started looking at it as a business. And now I do, talks around the U.S. and Canada, and I get paid pretty good money. And, but it's not about the money. And there are some organizations that I do work with, and I don't,
Jerry,
charge them.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just have to plug my computer because I guess it's running out of battery.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, my. Oh, God.
Love your action figures, man. Nice setup.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
worries,
my computer was like, okay, it's disconnecting. It's 7% charged, and I was like, oh no. Oh, sorry. So you were saying it's not about the money. It's about the feeling that you get afterwards, right?
Yeah. You know what? I believe we're all put on this planet to love one another and love ourselves. Loving ourselves is number one. We got to give. Got to give back. We got to grow, learn and grow. That's what we're here. We're here to live, to love, to learn, to grow, and give back. And if we just focus on those things, man, life would be so much better for everyone and the world around us. And that's, my purpose in life is to empower people, empower young people to become the best version of themselves. And the acting, and I'm producing now. I mean, that's all icing on the cake, man. That's like, yes. And the more that I get out there and get on TV and get into the movies, the kids go, whoa, okay. Shit, man, that guy did it. Hey, if he can do it, I can do it. Whether it's becoming a world champion, an actor, or, a doctor or lawyer, if, shit, anybody can do it. And the sooner you start, the better. So it's, I'm just grateful that I found my purpose, and my purpose is, empowering young people to be the best version of themselves. And that's what it's about, man. That's what life's about. Giving back, giving back, paying it forward, man.
Yeah. Man, there's something about you. Whenever you talk, I feel like I want to go work out or something. I want to go do something other than sitting around on my ass.
When I was watching your exercise videos, man, I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to train. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Did you see it on the Portuguese or the English channel? Because the Portuguese, you would not understand what I was saying.
No. Well, I was on the Portuguese channel. I'm like, what the fuck is he saying?
It all sounded like Spanish porn, right? Spanish porn. Yeah, que rico, que rico.
Yeah, there you go. But the CrossFit shit, man, was badass. Yeah. The push-ups and stuff. Yeah, the stuff you did was really cool. It was very, very cool. A lot of different shit in there I saw that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, I'm always trying to mix. As a stuntman, I feel like we should be ready for everything in a certain way. So we should be ready to not only lift weights, but be able to jump, be able to sprint, be able to jog, be able to, you got to have a lot of stuff. What's a typical day for you nowadays in terms of what time do you get up? What time do you go to bed? I mean, do you have any sort of rituals? Do you work out?
Yes, some routine. Yeah. Well, I got back into the, Wim Hof, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I got, from about a week ago, I got back into the Wim Hof method. And first thing I do every morning when I get up, my times, every day is different because it all depends on where I'm at. Like right now I'm in Los Angeles. We're leaving to go back to Vancouver on Monday. Vancouver life is a lot different than Los Angeles life. Everything's more, closer together in Vancouver, whereas LA, everything's spread out. And when you meet people, you got to go, and drive for 30 minutes and stuff. Yeah. But every morning when I wake up, and I told my wife, I said, honey, are you cool with me doing these breathing exercises when I get out of bed? Because I got to do these first thing. I'll do the Wim Hof, the breathing, and I'll time myself with the holding my breath, and then I'll meditate. I'll put my Bose headphones on, set my timer for anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, and I'll meditate. And then after that, I do my, I'll do a glass of water with 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I do that every morning to wake up my digestive system. And then I do 7 of these every morning. And then I'll go to the gym and then do my... Sorry for
interrupting. What type of workout do you do nowadays? Is it the conditioning with weights, body weight? What do you do?
Weights. Yeah. It's weights. I'm trying to get into some new stuff with body weight, using my own body weight, body weight exercises. Mm-hmm. You gave me some good ideas on some stuff to do too when I saw your shit.
Cool, man. Yeah.
It's, I do shadow boxing for cardio. I do funky boxing, which is I'll find a song with a certain pace of beats. Boom, 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 boom. And I will punch for 30 minutes in shadow box, and I will try to get my feet and hands and rhythm and punching, everything in tune to the rhythm of every single beat of every song that plays. And I measured it, and it comes out, if I do a solid nonstop for 30 minutes, it comes out to be close to 10,000, 11, 12,000 punches.
Wow.
And it's like, and I'm going, yeah, and it's not full out all punching. It's trying to hit and punch and step with my breathing going in slow and out slow. So I've got this, it's again, this is a brain training thing. So I'm breathing in and out. My punches are in tune with every beat of the songs. My feet are in step doing one thing. My punches are doing another thing, but everything's in rhythm with the rhythm of the songs. And I've got certain music, certain songs. Sometimes it's really fast. Sometimes it's, it's slower, but everything is in tune. And that's my cardio that I do. And I like it because it gets me into a focused rhythm where I'm not thinking of anything else. And I'm just like bang, 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 bang. And just my feet are moving, my hands are moving. And, and then I'll come home and eat and break my fast. I do intermittent fasting. I've been doing intermittent fasting for a while. I love intermittent fasting. I'll eat 16 hours and then break a fast with a shake and then do some writing or, go to an audition or something. But, every day is pretty much different. And I've been doing this course by Don DePani. Have you ever heard of Don DePani?
No, I haven't.
Give him a plug. Don DePani, he's a Hindu monk. Don DePani, he's a Hindu monk, and he's got this course out, Unwavering Focus, and an introduction to meditation, which that came with it. But Unwavering Focus, and he talks about the mind. And I figure, if anyone knows anything about mastering our thoughts in the mind, it would be a monk, right? So, but it's, and I do this course and I practice the awareness and it's really amazing how when you think of when you get angry, he says that when you get angry, you're not angry. You're just, your awareness is in that angry part of the mind. And you have to think of like we are pure awareness. And if you get a chance, Google him. I'm telling you, this freaking guy's amazing.
I will.
Awareness. And you think of your mind has different compartments. You've got angry, you've got happy, you've got joy, you've got compassion, all these different parts of the mind. And then we are pure awareness. So think of awareness as a glowing orb. And it goes to wherever we want our attention to go. So where awareness goes, energy flows. And I've been working on this, and it's really cool. You go home and family and stuff, and you got certain things. I didn't let things get to me like I would usually let it get to me. And I'm going, oh man, it just took my focus and my awareness to a whole new level. And my meditation in the past 4 or 5 days I told my wife, I said, man, my meditation just jacked up to a whole new level. And I think I attribute it to this course that I'm taking from Don DePani. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, monks, man, they know their shit. They are the master of, yeah. And
I mean, sometimes
he talks about affirmation. Do you do affirmations?
No, I don't. I
asked people, so you do affirmations? Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I do affirmations. I'm like, how do you do affirmations? They say, oh, well, I'm in the shower and I say, I am confident. Don DePani, monks have mala beads. Mala beads have 108 beads for a lot of different reasons. But when they do affirmations, they pick an affirmation. Let's say, I am confident. And you say it 108 times. Say it 108 times. It embeds it into your subconscious mind. Boom. Subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and not real. It embeds it into your mind. Now, to jack it up, you add visualization to it. And to jack it up even more, you put emotion to whatever you're trying to manifest. And you pick an affirmation, man, you say it 108 times with feeling and emotion and visualization. Oh, what you think you become, Buddha. It works. The shit works, man. It's pretty cool. I love it. Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta try. I guess I'm coming to a point in my life where I can, I'm better. Each year I'm better at looking at the helicopter view of it all, I'm 35 right now, and the late 20s were a mess. I was full of everything, full of testosterone, and I can feel a little bit of what you were saying, even though I wasn't famous like you, and I wasn't the golden boy, obviously, but I had a little bit of that here, and even though it's a smaller scale, but I felt it. I felt that I felt that capability of ruining myself in the long run. So
Yes.
I guess everything came to a circle. I mean, the circle was kind of closed right now. But I guess right now I'm starting to lean more towards, you know, gratification and
Yeah.
spirituality. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great place in my life right now. To answer your question, it's a
Hmm.
great place in my life to start
Yeah.
connecting with that type of
Hmm.
techniques.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Jerry,
Yeah.
I can't thank you. I can't thank you enough for this. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
you're giving us
yeah.
tools, not just talking about your life, but this is what I wanted from this podcast. Obviously, is to always
Yeah.
to make sure that the listeners or the viewers always get tools for their everyday life. You just gave me a lot
Yes.
of tools, and one of the tools that I'm actually gonna try. I mean, already tomorrow, besides
Yeah.
the affirmations, obviously, is gonna be that.
Yeah.
What did you call it? The boxing, the shadow boxing,
The yeah,
funk boxing,
funky boxing, I call it.
funky
Funky
boxing.
boxing.
That's great,
Yeah,
man. That
funky boxing. It's it's cool, but you got to challenge yourself and just try to hit on every beat. Bang 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 bang. Whatever the beat rhythm is to the music, and find different rhythms. And
yeah,
don't just punch just to be punching. Find that rhythm. And
yeah,
man, it's a cool because you're in sync with the music, and that music, man, drives you.
yeah,
Faster the rhythm, faster the punching, and try to do it with where everything is just where your shoulders are just bang, just kind of, you know, they're bouncing. It's a great exercise. I've been doing it for years, and I freaking love it. And
yeah.
it
Because
looks cool, and you feel cool, and it's just you're in sync, you're in rhythm, you're in harmony, and your body, everything is working together, and you're just like one with everything. It's freaking cool. I love it.
Because that's a
Love it,
great way
man.
to do skill work, and a lot of people don't like shadow boxing because they ran out of
Yes.
ideas or imagination. So
Yes.
that would be a great idea for you to get in tune with the music, get in tune with what you're doing, and even if it sounds a
Yep.
little silly the first time you hear it, it's
Yep.
actually like, okay, that's a way of you doing the shadow boxing without thinking of anything else, and you know, being
Yep.
just in touch with yourself and the music, and nobody else can step
Yep.
into your world, and
Ex-
you can actually get a
Exactly.
lot of work done and burn a lot of calories with that. So
Burn a lot of
that was a great tip, man.
yeah, and it's good brain training because you've got to be in sync. Your
Yeah.
feet's got to be in sync. Your punches got to be in sync, and then you keep your breathing. Your breathing's doing one thing, your hands doing something else, your knees are doing, your feet are doing something, and your mind is like bang in tune to what you're doing. It's a great exercise.
Jerry, I'm
Yeah.
just going to ask you for one last tip, one last life tip for
Yeah.
everybody coming out of one of my
Wow.
favorite motivational speakers. So you got it's your time, man. Say it to our listeners, to our audience, Portugal,
Yeah.
Brazil,
Get
United
out of
States,
your
whatever.
Yes, love you guys there. Get out of your comfort zone on a regular basis. Get out of your comfort zone and discover new things about yourself. Communicate with yourself, writing in a journal. Work on meditation. Google it, you know, figure it out. Silent meditation, in my opinion, is the best. But getting out of your comfort zone on a steady basis is the best advice I can give anyone because that's where you grow. I mean, you know, they say the comfort zone can be a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. So that's get out of your comfort zone. And most importantly, be freaking kind. Be kind. Every time that you sit, man, I believe in karma. I believe in karma. Be kind. We need more kindness and compassion in the world. Yeah. Get out of your
Yeah.
comfort zone and be kind. Yes. And do it often. Huh.
Jerry.
Even silent prayers, man. You're walking down the street. You see somebody, you know, just I don't know, you know. I mean, I'm not a religious guy. I'm a spiritual guy.
Mhm.
Just give silent blessings, silent prayers, man. It really does help. It's the energy. We're all just one big ball of energy, you know. Keep that energy flowing positive, man. Keep working on yourself, people, and just, you know, grow and give, grow and give, grow and give. You know, yeah. And I can't wait to come to Portugal, man. We're going to inspire some kids
Yeah,
and do
let's
some
go,
shit.
man.
We're going to make a movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, let's make a movie, man. The Return of the
Yeah.
Ninja.
Have you
of
ever
the...
been? There you go.
Yeah.
You ever been to Vancouver?
No, never.
You've
No,
never been to the States?
never been to
Dude,
the
yeah.
States. Yeah.
Well, if you ever come to LA, hook me up, you know, let me know. And
Sure,
if I'm
man.
in LA or you come to Vancouver, let me know. And Yeah, man, we'll hang and who knows, man? Maybe we can see if we can get you in something. Definitely there's a lot of work in Vancouver, a lot of good stuff in Vancouver. Got some good peeps that I can introduce you to.
Oh, cool,
Yeah,
man.
a lot of work in Vancouver, man.
I can't thank you enough, Jerry. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Wonderful tips, and have a great day. And thank you so
brother.
much for the energy, brother.
Godspeed, my man.
It was lovely seeing you.
Right.
See you.
All right,
Thanks,
All right,
man.
thanks, man. Have a good one. Bye. Take
Have
care.
a good one.
Just way better than what I ever could, but they don't look like me either. So you know what I mean? You got to find the middle ground. I knew if I would want to make it in Hollywood, I have to have a certain amount of muscles, but I also have to be able to move. So most people that are top fighters, they